Duggan, Remax Boulder Video Podcast. Today we have DB Wilson from Remax Boulder, who is the guy who puts together all our stats here to help our clients make informed real estate decisions. So the fall is here, and it's kind of a unique time of year to figure out what's going on in the market. So a couple things that I see right off the bat is that it seems like inventory is coming on real slow right now.
Agree.
But then again, the buyers tend to be more serious because we're coming into the holidays, and who wants to be moving during the holidays? So they tend to be fairly serious because they've been told by a job transfer or something like that. So it's kind of an interesting time in the market right now, and trying to predict what next year is going to be like. So, DB, why don't you tell us about the 10 factors we watch, and then we'll go from there.
Happy to. What we do is we look at active listings, median sales price, average sales price to list price ratio, the total number of sales, the days on market for the sale to occur, and that is from the day of listing to the day of closing.
Okay.
We also look at the number of expired listings, those properties that come onto the market and never do sell, as well as the months of inventory. If no new properties came on the market, how many months of inventory are there to absorb all of those listings? How many are under contract, the percent under contract, as well as what our interest rates are doing.
Okay, and today we're going to be looking at stats through October of this year, and DB will compare it through October of last year.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Let's dive right into single family first.
Okay, sounds good. So our active listings are up actually almost 7%, 816 listings. That is countywide for Boulder County, of which 41% of those are under contract. So again, that's still showing this demand and the number of buyers that are in the marketplace. I would agree with you that fall historically is kind of an interesting time. It's always one of change, and you start to wonder what's going to happen the following spring when that historically is the time that everything increases. I definitely agree with you. Those buyers that are out in the marketplace today are very serious buyers. So what's kind of interesting is we have as many listings on the market right now as we did in the spring, but we have much fewer buyers, and therefore there's less competition. So if you are a serious buyer, I would highly recommend taking a look at this time.
Get moving.
So likewise, we've got almost 7% more listings. We've had more sales year to date too. We're up about 5% over a year ago in the total number of sales. The average price is up 5.5% this year, and the median's up about 5%. Now, that's way off from where we were a year ago. A year ago at this time, we were over 14% appreciation, both median and average. So for the 2-year period, we're up about 20.5% on each one of those. We believe that what we're seeing is a much more balanced market, is where the last couple of years have really heavily favored the seller. Now we're seeing a little bit more of a balanced market. We think, or I think certainly, that the 5% appreciation is much more sustainable than 14.5%.
Right.
So
one thing we probably should mention, this is Boulder County, so
Boulder County,
real estate's very local, so cities are different, and even right down to the street sometimes can be a little different. So we're talking fairly broadly with Boulder County stats.
Absolutely, good point. The sales price to list price, it has dropped from where it was. We were in the almost at 100% a year ago, and now we're at 98.6, I think it is. This is still indicative of favoring the seller. Right. That normally is going to be 95 to 97% sales price to list price. The number of expired listings has jumped slightly to 82 properties came on the market and didn't sell, and that's in comparison with 67 a year ago at this time. So that's increasing, but we're still only showing 2.9 months worth of inventory. And for a balanced market, it's anywhere between 5 to 7 months. Some people just say 6 months, but 2.9 still shows that's the seller's market.
Right.
Finally, the interest rates are still below 4%, 3.9%. That is up about 0.4% from a year ago. Interestingly, it's just up 0.1% over 2 years ago. So interest rates under 4% are, when our average over the last 40 years is over 8%, It's definitely
Still
shows
pretty
you
good.
that it's a really good.
Right, and we will have Lawrence Yoon coming to our conference on November 29th, and he always has a prediction on what the interest rates are going to do. So
Absolutely.
maybe a little more informed than we are, so, since no one calls us to get our opinion about what interest rate should be.
Right,
So,
right.
all right, ready to dive into attached dwellings?
You bet.
Okay.
We look at those same 10 factors as well. Inventory is, we've got 209 properties on the market as of the end of October. That's up about 4.5% from where we were a year ago. Number of sales likewise is up about 2.5%. We've had about 1,090 year to date. The median price of an attached dwelling is now $360,000 in Boulder County.
Okay.
And the average is a little over 403,000. So
Okay.
that compared with 2 years ago as an example, when we were in the low 300s, that shows you how strong the market's been. The appreciation rate has slowed considerably on attached dwelling. For average, it's about 2.5% now. Median's up about 3.7%. A year ago, we were talking that we were seeing appreciation of over 20%. So that definitely shows you that it's slowed.
Mellow it out a little bit.
And it has, and it's also an indicator that the city of Boulder's attached dwellings have really fallen off. And they're actually, they're slightly lower than when we were a year ago for prices. And 50% of the attached dwellings in Boulder County happen in Boulder. So you look at Louisville, you know, when you're talking various areas are doing different things. Louisville is still in the like 15% appreciation rates, but the city of Boulder is slightly down. But in looking at all of Boulder County, that takes us to 2.5%.
Okay.
The sales price to list price, though, is still over 100%. So it's dropped from where it was, but it's still at 100.1%.
Pretty strong.
Sales price to list price, yeah. And there's still only 1.9 months of inventory, again, showing
Pretty low.
Pretty low.
Wow.
So 48% of those 209 that are on the market are under contract at this time. Total expires year to date have been 12.
Wow.
So again, I think it's a really strong market. It's starting to it's starting to wobble a little bit, and it definitely is dependent on the area. But obviously, it's a great thing.
And so, like a seller of a condo, good idea to put it on the market in fall right now?
I think so. Again, with 48% of those on the
Right.
market under contract, I think there's still a lot of buyer demand out there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to sell, it's a great time to sell it. What we are seeing is that people aren't just buying anything now, and which again I think is a good thing for the market, because they're not forced to buy anything. So it's really important that the property is up to date, looks good, you know, maybe new carpet, paint, and you still have to price it,
Right.
I think, properly. That you can't just expect that you can throw it on the market and
See what happens.
Yeah.
What's your gut feel on the strength of the market across price ranges as you go up in prices? Is the market getting slower in the upper price ranges?
It is. It is. We're off slightly. The percent under contract, my recollection, Duane, is it's dropped a couple of percentage points. I mean, nothing dramatic, but they are staying on the market slightly longer. There's more on the market today than there were a year ago, but the number of sales is up pretty substantially too. But I do think that it has slowed slightly, although it was interesting. I saw 2 closings in the month of October at $3.5 million each. Both of them were cash deals.
Right.
So
amazing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I think we're really in kind of the historic trend right now where things are slowing down, and certainly the appreciation rates are slowing down a little bit. It will be very interesting to see what spring brings.
Right.
Yeah.
All righty, DB, thanks for your insight. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
My pleasure.
Duane Duggan, Remix the Boulder Video Podcast, signing out.